Hey there. So I wanted to talk for a second about four powerful resources when you're doing inner work. But first, let's chat for a moment about why inner work is helpful in the first place. So, particularly when we've got many problems that are cropping up or specific problems that are cropping up that appear to be on the outside, it's like, why would I do inner work regarding this particular situation in my life that's showing up, right? Like a challenging job or not feeling like you're getting paid enough or a relationship situation or not being able to find a relationship. What is the purpose of doing inner work? So when it seems like there's some sort of external problem, what is it about inner work that's actually helpful? So just first off, some things can be changed and some things just simply can't be. And regardless of how hard we work on the outside to change something, it just might not be in our hands at the moment. And so something that we do have control over is how it is that we're responding to the situation. So it's just important to remember that we can't always make changes just by, elbow grease and determination. Sometimes things are going to move at the pace they're going to move at. So another thing that's really important about doing inner work versus just doing the external work is that a lot of the problems that are in our life, we're trying to come at them and work at them with old formulas that we've learned from the past. And these problems simply are not going to be solved until we've upgraded our awareness such that we can start to solve those problems. So doing inner work can be like an upgrade. It upgrades our insight into reality. It upgrades our insight into ourselves. It gives us the ingenuity to come to relationships, to come to challenges in our life with new perspectives, new energy, new consciousness. And it's precisely this ingenuity that is necessary for us to grow. Often we get the sense that we are actually trying to get away from a certain problem, right? Like this is the wrong job or this is the wrong relationship or I keep having struggles with this particular health thing. And if I can just get away from this, then I'm going to have free reign and free direction that I can move in my life. The truth is that often you're actually being asked to grow through the challenge that's in your life, which means that you've got the right kind of support, the right kind of regulated nervous system, such that you can be with the challenge that's in front of you without it fragmenting you. So life is asking you to grow through the challenges in your life rather than if I can just get away from this, then everything is going to be okay. So let's talk about the four resources that you have access to for inner work. So the first resource is saying yes to what is. So precisely what we were just talking about, this idea that if we can get away from something that's uncomfortable, something challenging, that's the way that we're going to be able to move forward. When the truth is we actually want to bring things closer to ourselves. So particularly when there's a challenging moment, let's say that you feel really stressed out or you've been severely triggered by something or just somewhat triggered, sometimes what you need is you need some actual support from a professional. Other times, what we can do is we can actually start to say, okay, I feel uncomfortable. Can I say yes to it? Can I even bring some of this discomfort closer to me, staying intimate with it? And one of the tricks to this process, and tricks isn't really the right word is one of the ways that this becomes an authentic, transformative practice is that we're becoming intimate with this part of ourself that's triggered or this uncomfortable situation without any designs on it. And what I mean by that is we're getting intimate with it, but with no assumption that that's going to change it. We're getting close to a part of ourselves because it's a part of ourselves and we want to be close with it. We want to bring love to it. And you'll be surprised at how much we've learned to push things away that are too much, that when we start to learn to bring something closer to ourselves, transformation can really begin to happen. So another way of saying this is to become the discomfort or the challenge or the fragmentation that you're experiencing, right? So rather than I'm noticing that I'm really scared, Can I allow myself to become some of that fear? Can I allow myself to immerse myself in what's here? So the next resource for inner work, and it's actually, it's two different resources, but in some ways it's one. And this is infinite time and infinite space. And what I mean by this is that when you can relate to a part of yourself that feels afraid or feels fragmented, and you can relate to it from a place of unconditional acceptance, which was our first part, and then infinite time. There's plenty of time for whatever this is to move and to grow and to come back into integrity at whatever pace it needs to move at. And the other piece of this is infinite space. Am I able to create enough room for what it is that I'm experiencing to take up as much room as it absolutely needs? So the reason that this becomes a resource is we're actually emulating spirit, we're emulating consciousness, we're emulating the sort of eternal base being. So that's the eternal dimension. When you come into relationship with something like divine energy, or come into relationship with fundamental consciousness, there is infinite time there. Time doesn't exist. And there's infinite space. There's room enough for everything that is arising. And when we start to dial our nervous system into this dimension of eternality, we're actually creating room for a higher movement of healing to come in. And we're creating the kind of respect, the kind of unconditional love that is at the base. It's the fundamental level of reality. So we're aligning with that when we come into contact with a part of ourselves that's frightened, and we go, oh, you get to take as much time as you need. I'm going to stay related to you. You get to take up as much time as you need, and you also get to have as much room as you need. So the final internal work resource is connecting with the support of primordial forces. And what I mean by this is connecting to the aspects of reality that are always here, that are unconditional, and that give us support. So one of the most fundamental of these would be the earth, that we can actually feel the support and the presence of the earth. So at a somatic level, what that looks like is, can you feel the way that the planet is holding the weight of your body? Can you connect with the environment, the structure of ground that supports you? And of course, this is not just supporting your weight. The earth is also in constant communication with us in one way or another, supporting us with food, with oxygen, with all these different pieces. But we can get the feeling sense of the support of the planet, particularly when there's something that's triggering or challenging, and or when we're wanting to do a deeper level of inner work. The other side of the spectrum is connecting with the sky, or connecting with space, connecting with room or space or insight that can come from higher intelligence. Now, connecting with higher intelligence, there's a cultivation process of becoming more aware of that, just like there's a cultivation process of becoming sensitive to the support structure of the planet. This is also a dimension where some people like to connect with angels, with guides, with the divine itself, with consciousness itself. The piece that's important is that you're cultivating a relationship with something that is consistently here. So that can be like your breath. The planet is always here unless you're on a space station somewhere. The experience of spaciousness or consciousness is always here. So establishing a kind of stability with these resources is a fantastic inner resource. So each of these resources is incredibly helpful and can help you begin to make transformations on the inside that start to be reflected on the outside. It changes the way that we're relating to people. It changes the way that we're thinking about ourselves, thinking about life. It changes the way that energy moves through our system. And therefore, it is a gateway into transformation. So I hope this is helpful. And I look forward to connecting again soon. We will be doing our community portal practice session this coming Thursday. Hope to see some of you in there. You can grab a private reading with me down below, or just check out some of the other things that I'm up to. It's great to see you. Take good care.